To make our pop art prints, we have a lot of options for color combinations and different backgrounds. We're all going to be using kind of the same color scheme of reds and blues and yellows, kind of like the primary colors, but they're going to be all used in different ways. And the colors show up on the background colors a little bit differently. So you'll just kind of want to think about that when you are choosing your colors. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to choose my paper. And I'm going to go ahead and write my name on the corner just so that I don't get it mixed up with anyone else's. And I'm going to flip it over. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a kind of a checkerboard print with our piece of styrofoam. So we'll print one in each corner and then one right in the middle. We're going to be using two types of, two tools today. They're called brayers. One is going to be the clean brayer and one is going to be the dirty brayer. The clean brayer is the one we're going to use as just a pressing tool. And the other one is going to be for rolling out our ink. So when we roll out the ink, we want to roll it up and down and then side to side. And we want a pretty thin layer. So sometimes I have to push some of the excess ink down to the bottom so that I can make a good print. Okay. So now I'm ready to roll on my ink. The next part is designing our illustration that's going to pop on top of our checkerboard. So you're going to drop this off in the sink. I will clean them off and then you're going to do a little bit of sketching. All right, so you'll have two pieces of paper to be looking at. You can look at the Andy Warhol inspiration pages and some of the flowers on these pages. You can design up to 4 flowers, but we're going to just be choosing one. So think about kind of what kind of flower you want to create. And it does not have to be super detailed or perfect. You're just kind of making a basic sketch of what you want it to look like. Do make sure that you are trying to fill your page. You don't want your flower to be too small, or else it won't fill up your print very well. So we got something like that. Maybe I could create something with a leaf, or maybe I kind of do something from the side instead of straight on. Kind of something more like this. So once you have kind of an idea, I mean, it can be really loose. It doesn't have to be too crazy. Once you have the idea of which one you want to create, then you will star it, and then we're going to transfer it onto our styrofoam. So using an ink pen, we're going to take our piece of styrofoam and we are going to just push right down in kind of firmly to create that texture in the styrofoam. So I'm not going to do anything too detailed. I do a little bit of detail in the middle there, but I'm not going to do anything too crazy because we want it to show up well in our printing. Something I can do if I don't know how I'm going to do it is I can go really lightly, and if it's light enough, it's not going to make a texture in the print. So you can kind of retrace it when you feel like you like what you see. Next, I'm going to cut it out, and I want it to stay as one piece. So make sure you're not cutting any petals apart. In fact, you can kind of, it doesn't have to be perfect either. You can kind of loosely cut it out. It doesn't have to be right on your lines. We're just kind of cutting away all of that extra white stuff. All right, so now I'm ready to choose a different color than what I just used to create a contrast with my first print. I'm gonna be printing my flower on all 9 of my squares. So I just added a little bit of yellow on top. It's gonna kind of mix a little bit, which I think will be kind of cool. If it doesn't look cool, then I will just change it. But I'm gonna roll it onto my flower, making sure that it doesn't go down into the lines. I'm gonna flip it on my square. Then I'm gonna use my clean brayer to give it a little roll, and then I'll pull it off. Now we're ready for our last layer, and this is where you kind of have a little bit of choice. So you could do, maybe you wanna do one top color on all of these, the ones that are all red in the background, and then a different color on all of these. It's up to you. And it also kind of depends on how much time you have left.